visiting and whatever. I was in line and they go, "What's up with that shirt?" And I sat there. I thought for a second. I go, "What state are you in? We're not in Ohio. You're in Gator country.
Right.
You came down here to Florida. You're in Gator country. Now I know the Knowles are here, the Hurricanes, and so what else? But you're in the state of Florida. We're playing against you guys in the national championship game. You're in Gator country. Don't expect Buckeye Nation to be running down here. You're in Gator country. If you don't like my shirt, and you can go back to Columbus." And then what ended up, you're going to lose. We're going to wipe the floor with you. Well, where were they at after Florida won that national championship game? They're like crickets.
Yeah.
They were quiet. They didn't want to talk to you. Well, that's them. And then of course too with that rule with the playoff. If you remember a few years back, they got into the playoff. I think the year that they won, they got into the playoff.
Yep.
And the conference champion was Penn State, and they got knocked out. Then last year, the rule went against them, and they complained. So tell me what's up with that equation.
I don't live in Columbus. I'll have to ask them.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand where if something works in their favor, they're all for it. But then if the goes against them, they're the first ones to bitch and complain about it.
You got to change the rule.
Yeah. Correct.
I will say that Michigan, Ohio State is the best rivalry in college sports, but it's not the best rivalry in college football. That honor goes to Auburn, Alabama.
Really? You're going to consider the SEC?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, I will tell you a story. I was working at Walmart in South Alabama.
Okay.
And there was it was Iron Bowl Friday. The Friday afternoon, day after Thanksgiving, there wasn't but 6 souls in the entire store, including us that was working there. There was nobody there.
Okay.
And everybody was at home watching Auburn, Alabama. I was 20 years in Michigan. 20 years in Michigan. I lived 20 minutes from Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
I lived on the border, and I lived up and down Michigan. And Michigan Ohio State was a football rivalry. You know, it was, if you're a football fan, of course you watched. But if you weren't a football fan, you didn't care. Auburn, Alabama transcends football. It is the most important thing in Alabama.
Yes.
It's so above and beyond everything else. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that that's the only thing there is for sports in Alabama. They don't have football. They don't have pro football. They don't have hockey. They don't have basketball. They don't have baseball. So if you want, the only rivalry is Auburn and Alabama.
Yep.
And it was incredible. At kickoff was 3:30. 3:30 Eastern, kick 2:30 Central.
Correct.
2:15, ghost town. Everybody checked out and left. It was.
I agree to disagree. I think the greatest rivalry in college football, and these two teams they're really, when I say this, they're not really, it's not about college football for them. It's about something different. But to me, the greatest rivalry in all of college football is Army-Navy. To me, the reason that I say that is, again, it doesn't really mean, football doesn't mean a lot to them because, again, they're not going to school to be football players. They're going to school to be soldiers and defend our freedom. And so to me, but Auburn, Alabama definitely ranks probably number 2 for me. Being that I live in SEC country and I have my entire life, I bleed SEC football. And, I've had arguments with Big Ten fans, and I don't have too many Pac-12. I don't know anyone out west. Big 12, that kind of thing. And now that I write about the Bulls, we talk about that too. But to me, I just think that that's the greatest rivalry in all of college football. But I would have to say the top 3 are Army, Navy, Auburn, Alabama, and then Michigan, Ohio State has to be. Now, you would think I would say Georgia, Florida. Yes, in a way, but because those two teams don't play in their respective stadiums, and we play on a neutral site in Jacksonville, which makes a shit ton of money off of those two schools every year. They will never go back to playing in Athens and in Gainesville. So it's just the way it is.
It loses a little bit of its luster, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah.
I think good old-fashioned hate is a really good game.
Yeah, well, and then if you want to get really, really brainiac, you could say Harvard-Yale. That rivalry's been around for a long time.
Always such a terrible game.
Well,
in terms of football that I like to watch, I can't watch that game. So,
well, I don't blame you.
I understand it. I respect it, but it's so Ivy League.
It's the brainiacs of college football. That's what you could say.
Right.
You could say that.
It's all the kids that decided that they actually like. It's all the fantasy geeks that decided they actually like to try and play some football for a change.
Correct. Now, but where do you rank Oklahoma, Texas in your rivalry?
That's right up there. Probably number 5.
Okay.
The Red River Shootout?
Well, how about Michigan State? Where does Michigan State rank for you? Being that you are a Michigan
all
fan.
Time or like in terms of probably top 15?
Top 15? Okay.
Game. But it doesn't compare to Ohio State, Michigan. And it's never and it's not on the level of Auburn, Alabama. That was mind blowing. I literally had my mind blown by the Auburn Alabama rivalry. You know, I spent 20 years with Michigan State and Michigan Ohio State, and you know, the Michigan, you know, in Michigan Ohio, Michigan State is a big rivalry no matter what sport we're playing.
Right.
But in terms of football, you know, if we're playing, you know, like Michigan State is a much bigger rivalry in hockey because Michigan State has had competitive hockey teams.
Correct.
But until a few years ago, they only had a handful of really competitive football teams, and so our bigger rival was Ohio State. You know,
okay.
We were their rival, but our rival was always Ohio State. And so when it came to college football, you know, of course we didn't want to lose, but beating Ohio State, the war drums are always beat Ohio State. When the schedule comes out and we see that the drum beat is beat Ohio State, and then everything else is secondary.
No, that's definitely true. That's definitely true. And I don't mean to flip the script on you, but what do you think about our boys in the NFL?
34-0, man.
I mean, I'm not dissing the Dolphins or anything like that, but I think the more impressive game they played so far this year was the Pittsburgh game.
Yeah.
The whole Steelers.
That was a clinic.
That's amazing. That defense, our defense is a lot better than it was a year ago, in my opinion.
I was doing my fantasy draft a couple of weeks before the season started, and I had picked out my offense, and I was like, you know, I need to go get a defense before it gets too late in this draft, and I have to pick the Dolphins or the Browns, you know, or some really terrible defense, and I was like, the New England defense was sitting in my lap, and I went, yeah, they're gonna be good this year. They got embarrassed, they got exposed last season. Belichick's gonna work his magic. I'm gonna give me some. They got me 35 points last week. How about that?
Well, and you know who I think is one of the pivotal points of that defense this year is your boy Winovich. Chase.
I knew he was better than a third-round pick. They slept on him, didn't they?
Well, when they drafted him, I'm like, yes. I saw Michigan. I'm like, yes, this is the kind of guy we need. And I know he brings a lot of pep to every play. He was that way at Michigan. I'm like, that's the kind of player Belichick needs on that defense.
He's a motor guy. He's
Yes, correct.
He's a high motor guy.
And I mean, he's had some sacks and some quarterback. I mean, he's been all over the field. The fact that they're playing what looks like to me, they're kind of playing like a base. They're not playing a base 3-4. They're playing like a 3-5. The linebackers,
3-5 stack.
and them, and Jamie Collins. Jamie Collins has been huge the first two games since he came over to Cleveland. And if we can stay healthy in the secondary, we got to keep Patrick Chung healthy. We need him to move on during the season. He's got to stay healthy. But I mean, our offense is going to be great.
Would you like to see them make a move for Ramsey?
I'm sorry?
Would you like to see them make a move for Ramsey?
I don't. You know what? But I honestly don't think we need him. And he is one of those.
I would agree.
I mean, he's a head case, but so is AB. If anybody can get him to straighten up, it would be Belichick, because Belichick is one of those guys who would say, oh, so you want to run your crap? Okay, well, then we'll cut you. Because that's the type of coach he is.
Right.
The whole thing with Antonio Brown, I thought he played very well last week against the Dolphins. Had a touchdown catch. I think him and Brady did well. And now you got Edelman, him, Dorsett. You got that kid, Carey, who will be back. The kid we drafted in the first round. And then, we have no tight ends. We just run James White and Sony Michel and Rex Burkhead and Bolden. We don't really need a tight end. It's like we got rid of Gronkowski, and then we just got better. I mean, can you say that? Did we get better offensively without Gronk? Is there?
Well, and you got Bennett coming back after week 4.
Correct. We have a good tight end coming back. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, Ben Watson. That's right. It's Ben Watson.
Correct. Because Bennett played for us a few years ago. I think he retired. We have his brother now on the defensive side.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I think you can. But I told you that was good. I told you. Didn't I tell you? I told you they were going to go back to that air raid style offense where Brady was going to throw it down the field.
Yep. Well, and see, to my opinion, Bud, he hasn't really had a deep threat receiver since Randy Moss. Now he has AB.
And he's done.
Yeah. Now we do.
And what he did, and I've said this for years about Bill Belichick, is Bill Belichick, to me, it feels like he reinvents the wheel every year. He gets new pieces, he gets new personnel, and he takes his playbook, and he chucks it out the window, and he drafts a new one, and he says, here, we're going to do this year. And they do that, and they win.
Correct. Yeah. I don't want to go into the whole 16-0 scenario, because that's
a little too early for that.
After the first 2 weeks, we still got to play Dallas. We still got to play the Chiefs. That's not going to be easy. Those won't be easy wins. I'm not saying we cannot win those games, but it's not going to be as easy as they say it's going to be.
You still got to play the Jets twice, and the Jets always play us tough.
We got to play the Jets twice.
Especially with this crappy as the years they're looking to have, as it's looking like they're going to have. They're going to want to get up to play the Patriots. And they'd love to knock us out, especially at home.
Yep.
So you can't sleep on any given Sunday.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah,
you got to get up.
I want to say I have either 14-2 or 13-3. Now with Antonio
14-2 going into the year.
14-2. I could definitely see that too. That's a definite scenario.
And football is a game of inches. An inch here, an inch there.
I agree.
It's a game. And it's a game of whistles. Look at the Michigan. Not to sidetrack, but real quick, the Michigan Army game is a completely different game if they don't